Hey everybody, welcome back to Croonie's Corner for this week's episode. So today we're going to talk about three simple things. We're going to talk about the posture, how to get that organized. We're going to talk about the grip, and we're going to talk about just hitting a few shots after a round, some calibration things that I like to do if I have time after a round to just reset and kind of keep the momentum going. So played golf this morning out at the course, and sort of played okay, but just sort of struggled last 3 or 4 holes. Could sense my fundamentals, my grip and my posture, and some things kind of started getting a little tired. And I think that's pretty common for a lot of folks, especially when it's hot out. So I was just thinking about hitting a few balls after the round and grab some lunch. Just going to hit probably 20-30 shots and kind of go through a checklist just to kind of recalibrate, get some good feelings. I always like to leave the golf course feeling confident. Like I don't like to do things, like if I play a good round of golf and like it's all good and I'm felt comfortable and confident, that's great. Like I can grab lunch and go home. But like when the confidence starts to dwindle, I always try to do things to reset that feeling so I can leave the golf course with a good vibe, good energy, and be excited to get after it tomorrow or the next day, whenever the round is. So first thing I wanted to just touch on is just the posture. So one of the things that I see a lot of in with golfers is poor balance at address. So with golf, because we're standing to the side of an object that's on the ground, right? That means we're going to have some tilt in our body. So instead of hitting a baseball that's on a tee in front of us, we can be more horizontal that way, or chopping an axe, we can be more up and down this way. Golf's kind of in between that. It's kind of played in between those angles. So we're going to have a little bit of pelvic tilt, so our pelvis is going to be tilted, our knees are going to be flexed slightly, and our arms are going to kind of hang from our shoulder sockets. But one of the things that we need to be able to do is create that standing posture. My tendency is I have a tendency to get my weight and my pressure a little bit too far back on my heels, and that causes me to go forward. So wherever you are off balance at address throughout the swing, you're going to be trying to find that balance. And that has a lot to do with the pitch of the shaft and all sorts of technical things that can happen in the swing just because of poor balance. So what I like to do is I kind of do a couple of things. So I like to stand up dead straight, move a little forward. So I'll stand up dead straight. I'll extend the club head out in front of me. Right, so I'm not going to be reaching forward. I'm not going to have it too far inside. I'm just going to have it nice and comfortable with my arms extended. And then I'll keep my legs straight, right? So I'll keep my legs dead straight and then just let this club fall to the ground. But I'm going to do that with my hips. So if you watch my belt line, my pelvis is going to tilt as this falls. So I let it hit the ground, and then from there I feel a little bit of pressure in the balls of my feet, and then from there I just slightly flex my shins forward. So I get a little knee flex like I'm shooting a free throw, right? So I get a little bit of neck, and that knee flex will move the pressure more to the middle of the foot. And what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to get kind of a straight line between the back of our shirt seam here to the top of our kneecap into the middle of our foot. That means that we have standing posture on an incline. And what I see a lot of people with legs that are straight and their arms too far this way, and then they want to fall back as they take the club back. And then I see a lot of people that kind of get like this, and they get too far back this way, and then they want to go forward. The other checkpoint that you can use, which I like to check, is I like to just take like an old shaft or an alignment rod, and you find your hip bone here, like wherever your hip is, and you just place an alignment rod on that bone, and you should be able to touch your ankle. So you can see how my shins are forward, right? And I have the correct structure in my legs. So that would be too straight. You could see there, shins aren't forward at all. I'd be on my toes. And if you're too far back, which is my tendency, is this hip bone here gets behind me on my heels. It can cause early extension. A bunch of weird things can happen in the swing. So you want to just take this alignment rod and put this right on that hip bone, and then find that ankle. And then you'll see here, you have got good leg structure, and then your arms can just hang from your shoulders. So I like to constantly check that, make sure the pressure's even in my feet, make sure I'm nice and athletic, constantly calibrating that posture and address position. The other thing that I like to do is I like to work on the grip a lot. So I use these, what are these? The Tacky Mac grip trainers. I like these because they're a little bit thinner than the Super Stroke ones. The Super Stroke ones are good for guys that have a couple of wraps under their grips or play a mid-size grip. That's a really good one but I play a standard single wrap grip, so I don't have really thick grips on my clubs. So this Tacky Mac is as close as I could find to a similar size. So what happened for me was I used that Super Stroke, the one that Scotty uses, and then I go to my clubs and it felt like I was gripping a pencil. So these Tacky Macs are really good for standard grip players, but I'll use this and I'll show you. You can kind of see the grip. It's nice and it's got, it's a rubber grip. And I'll put these on a few clubs and always calibrating the grip. So I put my left hand on there first, get that V and everything going to that right shoulder. Just sits in there perfect. And then I let the right hand come in and just want to feel that grip. So what I'll do is I'll use this 60-degree wedge. I'll work on my posture and I'll just clip a few 60-degree shots. Just focusing simply on making sure that my angles and everything are good at address. I get the grip in there. And I can just hit a few little shots. And I'm not really worried about contact. I'm just focusing on calibrating the posture, making sure that feels good, making sure the grip feels good. And just getting some confidence, getting the club to feel good in my hands. And just hit a few little short shots. And this is great because it just helps you build confidence, and it helps you get that club to feel correctly in your hands when you're playing on the course. Get a couple more here. So really feeling that ankle and that hip bone here. Nice and solid, not too much knee flex, not straight, just nice and relaxed, comfortable over the ball. Again, just focusing on the legs, making sure that's all right. And then you'll see here at address how my arms can just hang. They can just hang from my shoulder sockets and I'm in balance. So I don't need to find balance from here. I can just swing. I can start in balance and just stay there. And then the other thing I'll do too is I'll work a little bit on the ball position. So we can talk a little bit about this as well. But for me, the way I see it is that every club is swung in a circle, right? So from a face-on view, that circle is going to have a similar low point. So if I've got a shaft here on the ground, I like to play every shot that I have off the ground just a club head or a club head and a half inside my left heel, so kind of over my left pec here. So you'll see, like when I set up for a 60-degree, that ball looks relatively in the middle of my stance, right? Now if I'm going to play a 3-wood, all I'm going to do is just move this right foot down the line, and you can see how it's a little bit more, it looks a little bit more forward, so it's very optical. I prefer to play everything kind of in the same position for standard shots. Just makes it easier and more consistent for me to find the low point and make good contact. I never focus on tilting the spine, so I hear a lot of like leaning back, with like kicking the left hip forward and leaning back this way. I don't want any contrived sort of position in my swing. I want everything to just be natural based on my body. So you'll see when I stand up for a 60, you can see how my spine's nice and vertical. But then when I drop back for a 3-wood, you can see how my spine just tilts a little bit to the right naturally. So this angle increases as the club gets longer. And I want that to happen naturally. And I'll check it sometimes from down the line too, just to make sure that my arms, my forearms and everything are good. So here's the sand wedge. And then there's the 3-wood, making sure that everything's flush and solid. But the more consistent you can kind of go through that checklist, especially after you play or before you play, even in a practice session, just spend 10-15 minutes working on some of these basic, real simple things. It'll help you a lot and it might even correct a lot of the swing issues that you're experiencing. Hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you've liked it, please subscribe and like the channel. We're going to keep doing these every Sunday at 6:30. We're going to try to get some stuff posted. And as always, if you want to see anything cool or have any questions, please DM me, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks so much.